Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're strapping in for a really critical look at data privacy. We're going to try and separate some major facts from fiction.
That's absolutely right. And this is foundational stuff for anyone on the internet, which is, well, pretty much everyone. Our mission here is to dig into these sources and expose the myths that give people this false sense of security.
Totally.
Because your digital footprint, it's not some abstract thing. It affects your real-world life, your insurance rates, job prospects, everything.
Do you ever get that feeling that your online life is just an open book, but you're not sure who's reading it? Or maybe you flip one setting and think, okay, great, I'm safe now. We're tackling assumptions the source material calls dangerously incorrect.
Yeah, it's time to stop guessing. We're going to go through these myths one by one, expose them, and give you some actual actionable truth to protect yourself.
All right, let's start with a big one. I think this is probably the most misleading feature online. Myth number one, the illusion of anonymity. The idea that going incognito or using private mode makes you, a ghost online.
Okay, let's unpack this. That is the definition of a false sense of security.
Right.
The reality check here is, it's really simple. Private browsing only stops the local browser.
On my laptop.
Exactly, on your device, from saving your history and cookies.
Yeah.
The second you close that window, your computer forgets where you went. But that's it.
Exactly. But it's what the computer can't forget that matters. Your browser might wipe its local memory, but your IP address, that's still completely visible to the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a technical detail from the source I think is worth remembering. Your DNS requests. They expose exactly which sites you're visiting.
Yeah, think of DNS as the internet's phone book.
Mm.
And you're still using that phone book out in the open.
Right.
The analogy in the source material is perfect. Think of incognito mode as just closing the curtains in a glass house.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, your ISP, your employer, the network admin, and of course the websites you visit, they can all still see you. It offers zero privacy from anyone watching from the outside.
So it's convenience, really, not anonymity. We'd love to know, what surprised you most about that? I mean, the name itself, incognito, is just so misleading.
It really is. So if incognito is a glass house, then a lot of people think, okay, I'll build a fortress around it with a VPN.
Mm.
But that's where the next set of myths kicks in. We really have to tackle three major misconceptions about VPN.
Okay, let's do it. So myth 2.1 is that all VPNs are basically the same, that they're all equally secure. The sources just tear that idea apart.
They do.
The uncomfortable reality is that free VPNs, they often log and sell your data. I mean, we say it all the time. If you're not paying for the product,
You are the product. It's their business model.
Yep.
Only the reputable paid services with verified no-log policies actually offer real protection.
Okay, so that brings us to myth 2.2, this idea that a VPN makes you 100% anonymous, a digital ghost.
And that just doesn't hold up. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are vital. They hide your IP, they encrypt your traffic. You absolutely should use one. But they can't protect you from malware, or from phishing links you click, or, and this is the big one, from the data you just voluntarily hand over.
So protection stops where you start typing your info into a form.
Exactly. And that leads to myth 2.3. I don't need a VPN at home. And this is where it gets really interesting.
I think a lot of people believe this.
They do, but your ISP, your internet provider, tracks everything, every site, every search. They build a profile on you specifically to sell to databrokers. A VPN at home stops them from doing that.
So it's not just about protecting yourself on sketchy coffee shop Wi-Fi. It's about your own home connection.
That's the crucial distinction. Your ISP isn't just a utility provider. They are an active player in the data economy.
Which brings us to the devices themselves, the operating system.
Right, the foundation of everything. Let's start with the Windows telemetry myth. The idea that just disabling all the telemetry options makes Windows private.
Yeah, and the reality is that, well, complete privacy on a mainstream OS is almost impossible just by flipping a few switches.
So what's still getting set? Even when you turn things off, Windows still collects mandatory diagnostic data. For security updates, crash reports, it helps the system run, but it's still phoning home to Microsoft.
Okay, so what about the other side? Apple's privacy claims. The belief that Apple products are just completely private out of the box.
They're definitely leaders in privacy marketing, but the sources point out some critical details. For example, your iCloud backups. They are not end-to-end encrypted by default.
Why not? That seems like an odd choice for them.
Well, the sources suggest it's about user convenience. It's for account recovery. If you lose your password, they can still help you get your data back. You have to actively go in and turn on advanced data protection to lock Apple out completely. And most
You'll
people,
never do that.
they never do. And the same thing with app tracking. It's still happening. You just have to be really vigilant in the settings to shut it down.
And what about for the real power users? There's the Android customization myth, that installing a custom ROM guarantees privacy.
The truth there is a bit more complicated. Many of these privacy-focused Android versions, they still need Google Play services to run most apps.
Ah, so you're still tied into the ecosystem.
Exactly. If Google Play is running, data is being collected. It's not a simple on-off switch for privacy.
Okay, so next up is maybe the biggest, most common argument you hear. Myth number 4, the nothing to hide fallacy. I have nothing to hide, so why should I care?
This one is just, it's so dangerous because it frames privacy as something only for criminals. But privacy isn't about hiding guilt. It's about protecting yourself from being vulnerable. Data breaches expose your passwords, your financial info, your medical history. It doesn't matter if you're doing anything wrong.
And it goes beyond just security, right? There's the manipulation aspect. Targeted ads don't just show you stuff you like. They can manipulate what you buy, even what you believe politically.
And that leads straight into data profiling. This is where it gets really insidious. Companies build these incredibly detailed profiles to predict your behavior.
What's fascinating here is how it can lead to actual real-world discrimination. The sources mentioned that your browsing history, maybe you were just researching a medical condition for a relative, could get you flagged as a high-risk applicant for insurance or a loan.
Precisely. You're being judged based on an algorithm's inference, not on facts about you.
And we have to stress the future consequences. The data collected today, an innocent check-in, a photo from 10 years ago, that could be used against you if laws or governments change. Something innocent now might not be later. Let's shift to myth number 5. This is the social media security blanket. The belief that my privacy settings on Facebook or Instagram keep me safe and in control.
Yeah, that is not true. And the exposure happens in a couple of major ways. First, third-party apps.
Those little quizzes. Which Disney princess are you?
Exactly. Those things access way more data than you think. And here's the kicker. When your friends use them, those apps can often access your data through them.
Wow, even if I've never touched the app myself.
Even then. And remember, your privacy settings only control who sees your posts. They do nothing to stop the platform itself from collecting, analyzing, and monetizing every single click, every scroll, every pause.
So that behavioral data is the real product.
It is. Then you got the simple dangers of oversharing. Location tags, check-ins, they paint a very clear picture of your habits, of when you are and aren't home. That's a physical security risk.
And finally, digital permanence. This one is tough. A deleted post isn't really gone, is it?
Not at all. It's archived by the platform. It's probably been screenshotted or saved somewhere else. Deleting it just hides it from your own timeline.
Which brings us perfectly to our last myth. Myth number 6. The too small to matter mindset. The idea that my one little data point doesn't matter in this huge ocean of data, which raises a really important question. Just how big is this economy built on our insignificant data?
The scale is staggering.
I have to say, the numbers in the source material here, they floored me. The data broker industry's annual market value is $200 billion.
Billion. With a B.
It's hard to even comprehend that, and that's all fed by our data.
And it's built on such tiny details. The average number of data points a major broker has on you is over 1,000. This isn't just your address. It's predictions about your income, your politics, your health.
And globally, something like 4 billion personal records are leaked in data breaches every year.
So your small data point is floating in that massive, very leaky, very valuable ecosystem.
It's the aggregation that's powerful, right? My single data point is trivial, but when you combine it with millions of others...
Yeah, you create these incredibly accurate predictive models. That's what's so profitable, the statistical certainty about entire groups of people.
The conclusion is pretty stark. You are the product. Data brokers are just compiling your life from hundreds of sources and selling that profile to anyone who will pay.
Without your knowledge or consent, it's a commodity.
So, what does this all mean? It feels overwhelming. But perfect privacy isn't the goal, right? It's about reducing risk. So let's review the recommended steps from the sources.
Right. Action number 1 is to use strong tools. And the sources are specific here. They called out tools with transparent, audited policies. Password managers like Bitwarden, trustworthy VPNs like Proton VPN or Molvat.
With app blockers like uBlock Origin, these are the basic defenses.
They're your foundation. Then action 2 is to change your behavior. It takes more effort. You have to think before you click. Ask yourself who benefits from this data and what's the real cost of this free service.
And finally, action 3 is doing regular audits. This isn't a one-and-done thing.
No, it needs to be a habit. Quarterly, maybe? Review your app permissions, delete old accounts you don't use, search for your own name to see what's out there.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this deep dive.
Yep.
The main takeaway for me is that informed choices can dramatically reduce your risk. Every little step matters.
And here's a final thought to leave you with, based on all this. If your own deleted data is permanently archived, maybe for sale, maybe for a subpoena, what does that mean for the future of memory itself? For historical accuracy? Yeah, it kind of shifts the whole idea of truth when nothing can ever really be forgotten.
That is a fascinating and, yeah, a profoundly important thought to mull over. We covered 6 crucial myths today. From incognito mode to that insane $200 billion data market. Which of these myths did you believe until now? Let us know in the comments below. We love digging into your feedback.
We do.
Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.